Do-do-do-do-do-do. That's better. Microphone definitely functioning now. Almost forgot to change that. Oh, I do know something I did forget to change, and something going ding right away. Cancel. Oh, Dino Zoomies, thank you for following. I haven't even fixed what I'm doing. And VR chat. Keyboard. VR chat. And change that to VR chat. And done. There we go. Update everything. Meow, I did a ding. Yes, you did. Thank you for doing a ding. Welcome in. Hello also to Wild, and hello to Tanya. But thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Yes, you did a ding. Good work. I was still even just getting myself squared. VR chat was being special tonight. It is definitely being special tonight. Things like clicking is not behave. Over a little. That's better. I hope. And my left arm has been jiggly ever since I logged in. I tried turning my hand off and on again. It's doing the same thing. In fact, I let go of the camera. It's still there. It shows my fingers are all straight out. And then it... Man, it's a day. Also, where's my other window? It's not behind me, is it? Not below me. No, it's just gone. Perfect. Well, let's see if I can get that to work. Spawn new window. Oh, dear God. Hold still, left paw. Cat Big Jr. on Twitch. All right, that's me. That's what I want. Should go right there. Settings, opacity. That looks good enough. And turn off settings. And turn off settings. There we go. Okay. Good. Okay, we're back to semi-normal at least. Hello, other Cad Pig. I just finished an event, and now I got my own Yee-Navi. Awesome. Well, this is going to be fun. My left wrist is where my chat is docked, and my left hand keeps going all jumpy. That is special. Oh, we're gonna have fun tonight. Baba. Yes, you are a Baba Rose. I'm glad you know this. But welcome in, everyone. It is a cozy day here in this little cozy house, in this cozy sunsetted area. Meow. Rixie? I believe I know that name. I would love to accept this, but I don't know if I can click. Sure, you can be my friend. Get smooched. Yay, smooches. I like smooches. Yeah, if you haven't noticed my left hand glitching on stream here, how it's kind of wobbling and zippity doing, I have turned it off and on again. It is fully charged. It can see comfortably at least 3 out of the 4 base stations from where it currently is. And there's nothing interfering with it getting near the headset. It's that I can touch it. There's no blockage. It's just being special. Wonderful clothes. Oh, thank you. So you're wonderfully dressed too. I got my own VR headset now. Yay! I am glad, other cat pig. I'm going to try and reach out over here because that's going to make life hard. I don't think I could stare at that thing fidgeting. Actually, can I just edit this off? Edit. Let's just undock you. There. I'm just gonna put you all over here. Dead center in front of my face. For now. Because I'm tired of my left wrist fidgeting. Tanya! Oh. I'm a good girl, Tanya. I'm a good girl. My left wrist is not a good girl, but the rest of me is a good girl. I am a very good girl. And how are you, Tanya? Are you a good girl? I think you are a good girl, too. I'm going to try and turn my left wrist off and on again. Let's see if that helps. Also, whenever I had to log into VR Chat tonight, it made me actually log in, put in my username and password. And not only did I have to do that, but it was like the box was down there on the floor kind of thing. It was not straight ahead of me. All I saw initially was just blue, and I had to look around to see, oh, there's a login box on the floor. Oh yeah, my hand is still going crazy. That is awesome. Sophia Marie, I spy a baby lion. Well, Raven is a baby snow leopard kitty. That's probably what you spot. That she's there. She's a baby. I'm big. See, look, I'm big. I got big hair. So look at all this hair. This is big. This is big lion. And now an ad's happening. About to drive, so I'll be back when I get home. Well, good luck. Be safe, little other cat pig. Depends on your definition of a good girl. This is true. And Tanya says hi to Raven. Hello. I'm glad you're all friends. Oh, yeah. Left hand is still being so special. Waves, says Vincent. Hi, sweetie. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Well, so far, I'm really glad I have no major needs of my left hand here in VR tonight. Because it's having its own party. Just look at that. It's just doing its thing. It's having a moment. I saw other people over the last week having a lot of controller issues. So yeah. I don't think it's actually a controller issue. I think it is VR Chat more than anything else, or Steam VR being special. But I'm going to do my best. Just keep it down here out of the way. And we'll let it have fun. Well, I got hers. Yay! I got Auntie Fopsy a present. Aw, well, thank you for getting her a present. Beat it up. I'm not beating it up. She sent it to me. Yes. Fopsy did talk to me about that, and I said, yes, that is good. Vince says, aww. The fun thing is, restarting the computer shouldn't be a thing, since I did just turn the computer on a little bit before I was doing this tonight, and my hand was behaving last time. Poor Miss Lulu was having both hands jittering for her earlier this week, and yeah, it was driving her crazy. I need to remind myself to clean the floor. Tanya, clean the floor. There, I helped. But I can see how this would really have driven someone even as stably related to their VR selves as me, because that just flashing is really, really disconcerting. Almost makes me do want to restart the computer, see if it'll fix it. It's not the new update, is it? Possibly. I probably need to update, or did update, and I don't know about it and just did its thing. Purple monkey dishwasher. Purple monkey dishwasher. probably the new update. Probably did hit me, and this is what's happening. If you let go of your hand controller, what happens? That's it dangling. Still fishy flashing. In fact, it's going on a super party there. Yeah. And it's definitely in range of all the base stations. It is fully charged. So, yeah. I'll see if there's an update after stream. And, well, hopefully by next Monday it's going to behave. Right hand's behaving. Look, right hand. Boom, boom, boom. Finger. Clicking is not always working, but that's an entire thing. There's a new update that's introduced tracking system that doesn't require the controller system. Nice. So maybe they broke things. Avatar overlay, debug, gestures. Options. Back. Ugh. I don't know, whatever that is. Oh, I hate you. It also bricked a lot of systems. Hopefully it's okay. I'm hoping. Hand not wiggling. Never mind. Yeah, it's wiggling all right. Trust me, it's wiggling, and it's the only thing I can see. It's my hand, so yeah. Kind of annoying. But I'll probably do my best to keep my left arm down at my side just to keep from being bothered by its existence. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's Monday. Welcome in, everyone. I hope you're all having a fun day. As of last week, we're back to our regular 5-day work week again for me and Fopsy. No more PTO or anything till, say, May. Except for we're going to take a day off to go visit my parents sometime either near the end of this month or sometime in next month. We'll see exactly when we decide we can weasel that together. Just basically taking off a Friday to turn into a long weekend for the 5-hour drive each way and spending a little time visiting them and giving them Christmas presents. Because I'm a good child and I do my best to do nice things for my parents. Weird like that. But yeah. I went to this place partly because I was thinking about something this last week. And one of those things I was thinking about was my parents' house. This does not remind me too much of my parents' house. This looks too modern for their house. I'm not kidding. This does look more modern than their house. I grew up in a house that was definitely what you would call not new. And it's slowly but surely getting less new as time goes by. That house was built, we know the addition was built in the late 1800s. We do not know for sure what year the rest of the house was built. All we know is it was one of the first buildings in that town. We have seen it in photos from a hot air balloon that are on display in the library. And that was back when the town was a much sparser farm town. Love to know what world that is when you're done streaming. Oh, I can tell you that now. Let's see. Assuming my hand will behave well enough. Uh-huh. Try it this way. It is Farmhouse at Sunset. Farmhouse at Sunset. So the house I grew up in was very old. For all of you who have normal walls in your house, you probably have what is referred to as drywall or sheetrock, depending on who's telling you what it's called. That house was built long before that product was a thing. So all the walls that Dad has not fixed yet are what is called slat and plaster, where basically instead of just a big sheet of effectively concrete with a cardboard wrapper on it screwed onto wall studs, you had wall studs with a bunch of little thin strips of wood slatted all the way across, kind of like a really tight fence. And then they would slather plaster on it and make it smooth on the outside. And how it worked was it effectively splooged out on the inside between each of those, and that's what held the wall up. It looks more or less smooth if they do it right, and in some rooms it was definitely not quite as smooth. So there was that. And it's extra fun when it's really old and you have a kid who thinks it's fun to poke the wall and watch it make noises. Okay, it's knocking off some of the chunks that are now old and brittle on the back side of the wall. And eventually the inside of the wall starts going through to the outside. And then you just have chunks of wall falling between the wall studs. Inadvertently destructive child myself, was very OCD, and there was a thing that made noise and made plinkiness. I had to poke it. I could not poke it. Must poke. Poke. Made holes. And that's where I learned what slat and plaster was, because my dad eventually explained it to me. Also, the wiring when they bought the house was almost entirely what I think was called knob and spool, where the wires in the walls were not, coated in rubber, like a regular old wire normally is. No, it's just bare copper, ran up and down the parts of the house, wrapped around a little ceramic spool to make turns whenever they needed to. So you just had hot copper in the walls. Since they moved in, Dad, who has a degree in electrical technician, he'd been knob and tube. That's what it's called. Yeah, scary, isn't it? Since he moved in there not long before my sister and I were both born, he was slowly changing over as much of the wire in that house as he could. And to this day, he's not completely finished. But he has most of the house now converted to regular, insulated rubber-coated wires everywhere. And nice grounded outlets everywhere that he's been able to change things. A couple of years ago, it was almost simultaneously every house in their town that was of similar wiring age, who most of them had not done any conversion. They just were like, lights turned on, wires are good, no questions. Every bit of that knob and tube wiring across their entire town, just one by one, blink, 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 all of them just died. It's like it was just that age where the wiring, the setup, the everything was just, oh, this is when we're done with life. And unfortunately, it did hit them to a minor extent. Not in any rooms they normally spend time in, but a few of the back rooms that are just basically storage no longer have ceiling lights. And all of the... Oh, my face. Thank you. Thank you. Do not do that while I'm trying to talk. Most of the power outlets in those rooms just don't work because they're all the older ungrounded ones. So, yeah. Fortunately, they're functional enough. Dad knows how to run an extension cord and stick a lamp in the room temporarily when they're going in and fishing around there. But wow, just the idea that all of that went down for everyone else, but theirs survived just on the sheer fact that Dad had replaced most of the wiring in the house. Most. Funny thing is, I know he replaced the light fixture in the bedroom I had last as a kid since we'd moved in there, but he never replaced the wiring to that fixture, just the fixture itself. So that's one of the rooms that is lightless and full of a bunch of my sister's crap that she's never moved out of their house. It's a full room of stuff. Yep. Stuff. So yeah, there's that. I love the fact that their drain system at least is easier to deal with than some more modern locations, because they live on the side of a valley. Their actual out drain in the house is below the basement, down to the direction of the alley. So nothing has to have a sump pump. Everything actually naturally goes down. There are some minor flaws to this situation, one of which is, well, their basement is under the water line in one area, but above the water line in another area, meaning they get water coming in through the rock wall. And they've never had a dry floor during any amount of moisture outside. Kind of annoying. So that basement can never be a finished basement. You're never going to be able to carpet that because no matter what you do, and believe me, Dad has mentioned how much he has tried to do to make sure there are no seepage points in those stone walls. There is always seepage in those stone walls. That floor will never be allowed to be fully dry. Now, to say that house is 100% authentic the way it was is definitely not true. As I mentioned, Dad has replaced a lot of wiring. He has redone a lot of walls. The furnace has changed now. I believe they just had the furnace changed again. They got a new one when they moved into the house, and they just had to replace that in the last year or so, along with the water heater. Stuff gets old. It's a radiator-based heat system, so it's very longevitous, but it does wear out eventually. Heating elements aren't eternal. So, yeah, little things are changing slowly, but some parts can never go away. Like the original furnace is still part of the house. And you're like, wait, you just said you changed the furnace. Yes, we changed what is now the furnace. They can never change the original furnace out. It was a coal furnace. In fact, there used to be a coal chute on the front of the house for where the coal deliveries would come in. The center piece of that house is a brick and stone pillar that was the main chimney for the coal furnace. If you look through each floor of the house, you can see the lump of wall where it is and how weird of a shape it generates in the living room, kitchen, and dining room, and then subsequently the upstairs rooms above there. And it's a very interesting concept. The fact that that thing is basically one of the main supporting parts of the house. It's never going anywhere. In fact, I could see that the rest of the house biodegrades and breaks down, and that stupid chimney would probably still be standing there 100 years later. Because that thing was just deathly solid. Not only was that main chimney dead center of the house originally had fireplaces and chimneys all around it, because back when this house was newer, that's how you normally would have heated rooms when they got chilly. Not expect the main coal furnace to do all the work. So there were boarded up fireplaces on most walls in that house. Pretty near every room either had a fireplace that is now boarded up or had chimney access that was boarded up and turned into closets. The closet in the room where I first existed in that house was definitely a former chimney, and it was directly above the kitchen. In another closet, which was more former chimney. Convenient in some ways, but annoying in others. I kind of wished in the room I ended up in second that we could have opened up that fireplace and just had it be a fireplace again. There was still even a mantle in that room above the fireplace spot. It was just the fireplace was walled over. Tapping on the walls, you could tell where the opening was, where the actual fireplace space was under there. It's just, you couldn't get to it anymore. Who knows? Could have been also, that's one of the chimneys that is now bunged on the top end, so that might be why Dad didn't want to ever deal with that. But a cool theory anyway. It's a neat house. It's a weird shape. And one thing that I look at and talk about my house now that we own and call it a modern house. And this house is 54 years old. It's 1970 that was built. Well, 55 now, I suppose. Comparing things built 1970 till in the question mark at least 1800s, we have at least a few things that are what I would call normal. Walls are straight in this house. Not all the walls in my parents' house are straight. You don't have always straight lines, and doesn't always make sense. And I'll try to explain. You'll have, you go up the stairs and you'd go straight across, straight at the end of the stairs is what was my first bedroom. Wall goes there, wall is straight. Bear right, and you head towards where my parents' bedroom is. And that part of the hall is at an angle. And that goes to an angle back to their room. Yes, this is around the main furnace tube up the middle of the house, but it doesn't make quite sense that both the left and right walls are angled pointing back towards their room. Because the walls in my bedroom were not angled. The walls in their room were not angled. This was a weird angle that offsets from the hallway. Meaning either there's a big chunk of chimney back there that doesn't make sense and they just walled around. Or I don't know, but there's this extra dead zone both on the left and right side that doesn't make any sense. And even walls that look straight often were not straight, as in you try and line furniture up with it. No, that doesn't work right. No, that wall isn't actually a straight wall. That wall is kind of at a weird angle, but it's attached to an outside wall. Yeah, I know it's not straight. It's just it's wallish. It does what walls do. Not make sense. You behave more, Han? You gonna behave? No, you're not gonna behave. I'm gonna sit you at least on the arm of the chair so I'm more comfortable. Hopefully that doesn't bother me. Yeah. And I've noticed this slowly as a growing thing in any house as it ages. The interior doors do not stay perfectly flush to where they originally were. The number of doors that Dad fixed over the years by adding angular pieces of wood to fill in the holes amused me. Because the door and the frame no longer fully matched. And he did what he needed to do to make them make sense. And I'm proud of him. I mean, he's a carpenter and an electrician, so to him, doing that kind of stuff is, well, normal patchwork. But yeah, so much of that building is weird. There are doorways between most of the rooms in the downstairs, and either Dad has taken out the doors or they weren't there in the first place. I don't always know. I'm not asking every time about that. I'm back home. Welcome home, Mother Cad Pig. Like between the living room and the dining room in their house would have been a large double door. In all of my recollection, there's never been a door in that doorway. Also, the other door to the living room from the hall is a single door, like a regular one-person wide door. That one's never had a door in my remembrance, nor the one on the other end of that hall to go into the kitchen. But these both had these all had door frames like they should have had doors. In fact, had screw holes in the walls where doors should have existed. There just were not doors there. I found the Cowardly Dog Pop vinyl. Yay! I hope you enjoy him. I hope he's a good little doggo on your plastic things shelf. And the door to the library, or it's the room, what we call it. It's the room behind the living room, one of the main rooms of the addition that was put in the late 1800s, are these giant wooden sliding doors that go into the wall. It's weird. Just these big, massive, heavy sliding wood doors. Now, I'm not talking like a modern, like, closet door that's like, oh, this is like weighs an ounce. I just slide it with a finger. No, I'm like, I don't think my mother can move the door at this point in her age. If it's shut, she's going to have to ask Dad to move the door open or shut. And the one is usually set in a locked position, closed, and last I remember, they've like permanently put furniture in front of. There's a set of bookshelves in front of it. So that piece of door is fully closed. It's another one of those double wide doorways in that house. Very weird and interesting. Now, to talk more about the layout of the downstairs, I just saw something about that online from the 50s, 60s, if I remember, maybe older. Nice. When you go in the front door, there's a front hall with stairs going up, and you keep going straight down the hallway. You end up in the kitchen, which is a nice big square room. You go to the right, you enter the living room, another big square room, and the opposite edges of both those rooms touching makes where the dining room is, another big square. Off behind the living room, keep going away from the front hall, there's what's referred to as the library, the other big square room downstairs, which has another porch attached to the front of it, another outside door. And it's one of the few rooms in the house I remember had a fireplace that at least we used when I was a kid, because that's where we often had the Christmas tree, and that's where we hung our stockings, over that mantle, over the fireplace, in the library room. We called it a library. There was one bookcase in there. I think we had more bookcase in the living room. Don't judge. We just call things what we call them. Sorry for the ad. And attaching the library room to the dining room, there was also the back hall, which was another hallway similar to the front one. The length of the library room with a square not room at the end. Not big enough to be a room. Maybe could have been converted into a bathroom. But it's just a little square, no door on the end of it. Space. I've seen that in a lot of older houses where hallways often had little, like, nook not rooms at the ends of hallways. I guess that was a thing. So, yay. That's also one of the rooms that still had in the wall the... Where, cutie kitty. Hello, Ivy. How are you doing, pretty little green? You're a good girl, Ivy. You're a good girl. In that little tiny room at the end of the back hall was also where one of the original fuse boxes was in the wall. As a kid, that was never actually wired to anything anymore, but it was actually a fuse box with the little screw-in fuses in that wall. I will get that hydrate if I can find my bottle. Figure out where the heck I am. There I am. Not there. No. There we go. Got it. All right. Delicious water. And underneath the stairwell, there was... Why did you have to close the chat window? Underneath the stairwell was... a large closet. Kind of like a Harry Potter room, if you would. One of those under the closet things. Did it just come back on its own? No, of course it didn't. Why don't you... Oh, wow. You are going to make this hard now because of that wrist. Settings. There we go. Spawn a new window. Make it chat. No, not that. Close that. Spawn a new window. Chat. There you are. Come back over here. I don't want to lose you, chat. You're very important to me, chat. Did you know that? Set your opacity just a little bit less than full. Oh, I'm clicking buttons on that. Oh, that's annoying. Oh my flippin' doodles. Don't you do that. All move over here. Now go to settings. Now move your opacity down a little bit. Good enough. Settings. And back into spot. Good enough. Turn that off. So, under that stairwell was effectively a Harry Potter room, which was always full of crap through my entire life. And the back hall stairs had a neat attribute. Whereas the front stairs, you'd walk in the door, slightly to the left was stairs going straight up, and a hall going straight out to the kitchen. Whereas the... Whereas the back hall stairs were not straight. Oh my God, what is this? What is this trying to do? Stop. What are you doing? I don't know what you are or why you're... Okay, I need to take my headset off because I can't click on this, whatever it is. It's in my way. I don't know what this is. And I can't get rid of this. Oh, that's... How is this... Oh my God. I can't unclick that. Oh my God. All right, everybody just kind of hang tight for a minute. I think I need to restart many things. I'll be right back. Just exit that. I promise I'm still here. Okay, sources. I don't know why you're not wanting to be docked. All right, I'm going to have to exit OBS, and I'll be right back. I can't. Jiminy. Close window. Oh my heckin' heckers. Heckity heck heck heck. Task manager. Okay, task manager, come over here. We're going to end OBS. I promise I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, okay? End task.